Hello, Swellheads. It's Greg Allison. How are we doing tonight? So, we just had this big No Kings rally. Big, I say, with a little b. They told us there was.
Hello, Swellheads.
Oops. They told us there was going to be 18 million participants. Well, it turns out it was more like 7 million, and that may not even be true. And it seems that the attendees were rather blue. And, hey, I believe in freedom. Everybody should have a freedom to protest. As long as you're not burning things down and hurting people, that's fine. Everybody's got a freedom of speech. And that they did not, for a change, take the more violent road, I'm happy with. Now, that doesn't say they wouldn't and they couldn't, but we know there's a propensity for violence on that side of the political spectrum. But I think they wanted to show that they could do something without that because they understand they're kind of losing the public narrative. People are moving away from what they've represented all this time. And so that's the interesting aspect of what's happening here. But moreover, really and truly, the left is falling apart. And that's what I'm going to present tonight is that they, I'm finally feeling like my right to arm bears may be secure. My nugs may be secure. If you don't know what a nug is, you haven't been watching me, just flip that word around and you'll know where I'm at. So I'm going to open this up on my phone here so I can keep up with the chat here. So the good news is that this was a rather peaceful event. There's a couple of things that could have happened that were thwarted, thankfully. Like I said, it doesn't mean that they won't resort to other things down the road, but it's cost them the narrative. And I think they've already lost it because, as it turns out, registration for Republican Party has increased very significantly in the recent months. And in fact, for those of us in Arizona, the gains of Republicans over Democrats is over 330,000 in registrations. So maybe in my state, the next time there's a gubernatorial election, maybe there will not be a Democrat in, and that Democrat senator who flew in space, he can go back out into space. So, like I said, I think my right to arm bears is secure. And you got to remember, this state was the state of Barry Goldwater. Of course, California did bring us Ronald Reagan as governor twice before he came to the presidency. So who knows, maybe even California will wake up and get rid of the woke madness that's afflicted them for so long. So all news isn't bad. There's some good news here. And so we're going to look at that. And some of it's just outright funny. Some of it's hilarious, really and truly. So that's why I call this the, No Kings, the day after party. It's Saturday night. It's time to celebrate. And so we can have a little party in here tonight. I was going to bring you the Chinese Russia stuff. I think I'll show a couple of things about China, but I'm not going to dwell on it so much tonight because I've been on it real heavy. And we'll bring that back on Green Greg's maybe tomorrow night. So buckle up for that. There's still a lot going on. I mean, it's not like we're safe and secure. If you're not prepping, you're not paying attention. That's very important. And our grid's still very much at risk. Our infrastructure is still at risk. So you know what it is? The party that brought us, let's throw the borders open and let everybody in without vetting who they are. I got no problem with immigration. I just believe that we need to vet who's coming in this country. But no, let's just throw it wide open so everybody can come in. And, we let in what? Drug cartels, sleeper cell agents, and in spite of the fact of having all these drug cartel people, they want to defend them and keep us from exporting the drug cartel members. They want to cut law enforcement and take away your means to defend yourself. Now, excuse me, maybe I'm missing something up here, but where does that make any sense at all? Where do you get sense from that kind of nonsense? I don't see it. I just really have a problem. Maybe I need some glasses. Is that what it is? Maybe I need some glasses. I don't know. I just have a hard time seeing and picking up what they're putting down. Uh, and I don't agree with their economics, and I don't agree with socialism. I do not agree with communism, and they're all for all that mess. all those isms which lead to totalitarianism. Yet they tell us they're for no kings. Excuse me, go back. Oh, I've even had people on Facebook comment to some of the stuff I posted. Says, "Oh, but our First Amendment rights, we're losing them." Excuse me, they don't know what's happened to us who have had conservative views here on platforms like YouTube, and now that Google and Meta, they've all come out and admitted that the Biden administration made them squelch us down. And they still do, but not as bad as they did. They don't have a presidential directive that cut content like they had. But they had, well, we had freedom of speech back then, right? I don't think so. So, and like I said, without the right to arm bearers, you're not going to have the right to speak your mind. And we've already seen how they tried to control that in the past, how they've tried to thwart freedoms. And just look at Canada. Look what's going on up there. Yeah, they wanted all that kind of mess down here. And hopefully the movements in Alberta and some of these other places in Canada will wake the rest of the country up there. Maybe they'll come to their senses. I don't know. There are some strong conservative movements in Europe right now. Maybe they will get rid of the likes of Starmer, who wants to put the digital ID on everybody. See where they're trying to take us? Digital ID, House of Klaus. And I showed you the stuff from the House of Klaus where they wanted to take you. They wanted to put a chip in you. They want to turn you into a mind controlled robot where you'll be happy when they take everything you got and you have no privacy, no property, but you're going to be happy. Yeah, right. I don't think so. They don't understand human nature, and that's the fallacy in communism and socialism is a lack of understanding of and appreciation for human nature. You can't make something succeed by trying to change who we are unless you truly turn us into ants. And that's really what they wanted to do. They're I showed you that video of the henchman of Klaus talking about how we don't have a soul. Free will is an illusion. Well, let me have my illusion of free will. don't take away from me that illusion if it's an illusion. So this is so we've got a chance now. We have a chance. We've got some hope that we can maintain freedom, real freedom. And that's what's coming here. Now, I'm not, I criticize Trump. I criticize him for not releasing the Epstein files. I criticize him for, making certain claims that he's made that, like, claiming that they took out all the centrifuges in Iran with the bombings. We know better than that. Even the Mossad's come out and admitted that they didn't do that. And it was obvious nobody else brought to you guys the proof in the lack of uranium hexafluoride at the bombing sites. I've never heard any single YouTuber talk that. Well, I guess it's because it's science. Well, you got the benefit of having probably the only rocket scientist doing YouTube in the prepper sphere. Now, there's a few over in space stuff, and I got a space channel too. But they didn't really talk about that because they talk on space stuff only. So I'm a little broader. I cover a wider spectrum of things because we got to live in this world. I got the realization we have to live in this world, so we got to make it the best world we can. And the wokeism to me is just a mental disease. It does not take us where we need to go for peace and prosperity. There's not been a more powerful economic engine known to man than capitalism. Like it or love it, it's not perfect, but so far it's the best we've come up with. And having a republic is, kind of clunky. It's like a log raft, but you know what? And as opposed to a finely tuned ship like a lot of the isms bring you. The problem is, you hit an iceberg, those ships sinks, but log raft just keeps going. And so I prefer the log raft myself. Call me Tom Sawyer. Absolutely, I loved Tom Sawyer as a kid, and I still do. Mark Twain was a wise old sage. Anyway, so all that said, Nazi chances slim. Yeah, look, my dad fought them, the real ones, back in WW2. And I'm here to tell you that, no, we don't need any of that. But, those Antifa guys were like a bunch of little brown shirts, and all the ways they acted was pretty much the same. And you bring us communism. How's that any better? And the real irony of it is they had an anti-Trump, no kings protest. Where? In the United Kingdom. Is there some irony in this? A no kings protest, and where? United Kingdom? Am I missing something again? Maybe I lost a screw around here somewhere. I gotta look around. Where's that screw at? Maybe I gotta put it back in my noggin. Like I said, this is party night. So anyway, so we've just got to. Sometimes we have to celebrate. I think it's a time to celebrate right now, and that we can see them slipping. We can see them standing on their banana peels, and they had the red suits on. Well, they had red, no, yellow suits on. They wouldn't wear red because they knew that was showing their true colors, so they wore yellow. But yellow suits, yellow banana peels, it's all the same. So, and so what we see is there's really two faces to their movement. It's those young Antifa guys who you saw the mug shots of who look like someone the cat drug up. And the ones that we got the mug shots for. I don't think the cat would even want to chew on it. So I got to give my cats more credit than that. Or something that, a bunch of liberal old white women for the most part, and the guys that kind of hang around with a bunch of, you know, hey, I'm an old guy, so I'm not trying to pick on old people, but that's what they got left on their side. And so the future of their woke movement seems to have an expiration date. At least I hope it does, because a lot of people are just waking up to say, "Hey, this has failed. It's not taking us where we want to go." I'm not sure Trump is taking us where we want to go. As he's leaning on Ukraine and some other things like that. I'm having a hard time seeing the America first and some of the things he's doing. But guess what? We're about America first. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure most of the people in my audience love this country. And I've said it's the greatest country that ever has existed. In spite of all the hooey they want to teach our kids. And so this is what we need to bring up, and we need to teach our kids properly. We have to do it ourselves. And furthermore, I'm no big fan of government. What I've been saying. Tribal government with tribal, a council of elders is probably the most government we need. And if we could convince the people over across the pond, over in the Beijing Panda Land of that, maybe we could not have to defend ourselves from them. And there's a lot of people over there are not happy with that jackboot on their neck. What's the solution? You see them here in America. Don't, talk to them. Say, hey, really? Don't you think there's a better system? You know, why do we need all this stuff? Why do we need to oppose each other? Why do we need to fight each other? I stood in the streets of Moscow back in 2010, and I looked around. I thought, why in the world would we want to bomb this place? And then I looked around and said, well, why in the world would they want to bomb us? And what happens is the medias in all these countries and the elite classes play us all against each other for their own gains. That's what happens. That's how a lot of organizations are run and set up. They make their power by accusing other people of stuff, and then say, "Hey, you support me, and we'll take care of that." Even the Rainbow Coalition of Jesse, what was his name, ran for president, Jesse Jackson, when he ran for president, it's the same thing. They used extortion and bribery to try to take money from Coca-Cola and other corporations to run their organization, support him. And I met him once. I was walking out the door of a hotel. He was walking in, and I just said, "Hey, Reverend." He said, "Well, hi, buddy." And well, I'm not your buddy. And I just walked on out. His group had a meeting in that same hotel where the National Space Society was having a International Space Development Conference that year. So I met some strange characters in my life, and he was one of them. But fortunately, it was just kind of a passing. Maybe I should have sat down and talked to him, but it wouldn't have made no sense. I mean, like talking to a bag of doorknobs. So anyway, we passed. That was it. But anyway, so I digress. But so I'll tell you what. Let's go to some of these articles and stuff. I'm going to show you some things that might entertain you a little bit. Kind of back up what I'm saying here. So I'm not just having a hallucination here. So Greg, what are you smoking? Nothing. Cigar every once in a while. Hey, I got another bag of worms today, another box. I just did the video where I got worms. I got another one. I didn't want to put them in late in the afternoon. I want to put them in the morning when they'll There's plenty of daylight and they'll sink down into the beds. If I put them in too late, they might crawl out because they love night. Once they get used to the bed, I'm hoping they'll stay in. So I got another box of worms today. So I'll have all my sled beds. They'll all have worms tomorrow morning. That's the good news. All right, all that aside, let's get into this. And like I said, this is party night, Saturday night, Saturday Night Alive, not Saturday Night Live, that's taken, but Saturday Night Alive with Greg Allison here on Swivelhead News. All righty, let's. I had the share button touched there already. Set this share button. No, I don't want to go there. Hang on. I gotta move this. Ding, 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 ding. So we're going to look at the two faces of what's left of their movement. A lot of people are leaving them, thankfully. So here we are. This post here on X, Big Pop says, today's No King protest. Now, I want you to look at this and tell me how many people of color you see this. Oops, take the sound out. Let me sound. Oh, stop it. We don't want the sound. Anyway, we'll just play. Oh, now it's playing sound still. Hang on, I got to shut down the sound. Now maybe I'll play it bigger. Tell me how many people of color you see in this crowd. And how many young people? Oh, now it's wanting to draw. What the heck? I don't want to play. What the heck? Get out of that mode, stupid thing. Out of that. I don't want to do that. How do I find myself in that? Oh, well, let's, I don't know what I gotta do. I'm trying to play this thing and it's wanting to do goofy stuff. All right, you just gonna play now? No, it's got sound again. Turn the sound off and it goes into draw mode. Come on, quit that. Here we go. It's mostly elderly people. There's a few that are middle-aged, but look, mostly older people. A lot of women. A few men are like standing behind their woman. Where's the people of color? Where is the people of color? Look at this. None. I don't see any in this crowd. Inclusion, not limited inclusion. Where's the inclusion? You got no people. Oh, there's a Tyrannosaurus in the back. Okay, it's not all white people. There's a Tyrannosaurus back. Yeah, Tyrannosaurus. That fits them perfectly. Where's Barney? How come he ain't got a purple Tyrannosaur? Anyway, yeah, is this? Well, she's happy. Okay. So this is rather inconsequential. That's my point with this whole thing. They're falling apart. They got a lost narrative. They really don't know what they're talking about. They've all been hypnotized by the mainstream news media over and over and over and over. And like I said, so what is their real narrative? It's bankrupt. Anyway, so let's many old white people showed up. Yeah, we see this over and over here. No kings, big divide. These elderly people do not get their news, still get their news from the legacy media and believe it. Yeah, I think that's the problem. They've been hooked on legacy media. I don't want to show that. That looks kind of gross. But basically, what's he saying there? The nursing homes are emptied out for no kings. Yeah, maybe that's what happened. Is it me? Or were these all people who showed up at the No Kings protest, old, angry white women? And low testosterone husbands. Maybe that's it. Here we are in Mobile, Alabama. They said that 30 buses bust them in. And says most of them are liberal boomers who still needed a paycheck. As if maybe someone getting paid. Here's the buses, guys. Here's the buses. I said, man, I'm not sure if I open this, it don't play. I'm going to cut the video sound on my computer here. So I'll make sure it don't sound off. Look at this. I kid you not. There's the buses. There's the proof. There was 30 buses in Mobile to bring them in. 30 buses. Where'd they come from? That's a better question. Where did they get these people? 30 buses. Now, these buses all look alike. Didn't somebody pay for these buses? Who organized this? Who paid for it? It had to be paid for, right? Buses don't just take people around for free, but they tell us all this is organic. This is all organic. Nobody's funding us. And we hear that so much from the left. Excuse me, then justify that. Explain that, please. I'm having a hard time following. There's another view of the crowd. Same kind of demographic. Again, do you see any people of color in here? Maybe they did empty the nursing homes. I don't know. Hey, I'm not jumping on old people. I'm an old guy. But I'm not an old liberal guy. That's the difference. I still got at least two brain cells, and I'm not hypnotized by the news media. This woman's breaking down in a protest. Yeah, we won't play her. It's the same thing. Photo after photo after photo after video after video. Several hundred people aged 65 and above in Springfield, Ohio. And here's talking about no kings. It's talking about, well, how long has the reign of government been? Chuck Grassley, 50 plus years. Joe Biden, 48 plus years. Chucky Schumer, 44 plus years. Mitch McConnell, he's Republican, but he's definitely on the, he's not MAGA. Nancy Pelosi, yeah, wow, 38 plus years, makes 200,000 a year and is a multimillionaire. How does that happen? Bernie Sanders, oh yeah. But yeah, anyway, on and on and on and on and on. It just goes on and on and on. There's just a lot of that here. So let's look at some of these other sides here. Let's see here. They call it no kings, but they're marching. Oh yeah, this is a guy, Gene Robinson, black guy here, saying it like it is. He says they call it no kings rally, but they're marching in the hood to protest the cleaning up of the hood. Now, I think he's on to something. 100,000 white liberals chanting about justice while demanding we live with gang wars, overdoses, theft, and fear. I think he wants his neighborhood cleaned up. They don't live here. They don't hear the gunfire. Oh yeah, he's mad. he's laying it on the line. He's telling them, hey, quit this mess. We want some peace in our neighborhood. I gotta go with this guy. Let's put him in office. He's talking some truth again. We just see the same old thing over. Uh-oh, so bad even the introverts are here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Anyway, oh, now you've seen this video being played on MSNBC and some of the other news of this Boston rally. This person, C3, says that this video was from a 2017 event. Trying to convince Americans they're here today. Claim that this video didn't even originate from this event in Boston. Hey, I don't know. That's what this guy claims. Is he right? I don't know. If so, that really brings to question this whole thing when they're telling us that they had let me move this camera a little bit, some 7 million protesters when they told us it was going to get 18 million, and maybe they didn't even have 7 million. I mean, when you see the videos from the street, I hadn't seen a big crowd like that on the videos I'm seeing from the street. Anyway, now here's a black lady holding a Trump flag. She's kind of laying it on the line to them too. I don't know how they took that. This is in Florida. She's laying it on the line to them. Oh yeah, she's smiling. She's cute. Anyway, how about that? What do y'all think of that? So it's a smart cookie, it says here. Yeah, she might be. It should, let's see, this one says it should surprise absolutely nobody that the same group that doesn't understand the meaning of fascism and who can't define what a woman is doesn't understand what a king is. Does she have a point? King Schumer, 45 years. Queen Pelosi, 42 years. There's more of this. Elizabeth Warren, 15 years. Bernie Sanders, Dick Durbin, and Trump just 4 years and 9 months in office. Okay. Let's see. This lady here is also chomping on. She says, "You all look dumb holding another No Kings protest. If you can attend one, you do not have a king. You're greasy, unemployed communists railing against fascism, yet your party censors, prosecutes opponents, controls media, and justifies the often also dissenters and demands compliance." All right, she's laying it on the line. Okay. Now here's another. Here they are in Atlanta. Breaking. Black people around 47% of the population in Atlanta. This No Kings protest is 90% white people. Really? In Atlanta, hot Atlanta? I don't see any black people in that crowd at all. Let's see. Maybe there's some. There need to be some. It's Atlanta. Oh, yeah, there's one right there. Saw one, two, maybe three out of all these guys. Yeah. Guess he made a point. Interesting. Interesting perspective. And this guy says, white liberals are the worst every single time, according to this article. Chicago. That was a whole lot like the scene that was supposed to be in Boston. I don't know. What is that? This guy, he's laying it on the line. He says, what are you guys protesting? You are protesting the fact that you live in the greatest country on the planet, and the fact that you get to protest means there are no kings in this country. Well, there you go. Uh-oh, we don't want to play that woman's nasty looking thing. All right. So there's those. Yeah, let's think about that. I'll check the chat room. So here's the other faces of the movement. Here's the young people they got in their movement. That's the ones that got mug shots, the ones that got arrested from Antifa. Boy, don't they all look special? Wow. Yeah, I don't even think my cat would drag that up. My goodness. What a motley crew. What a motley crew. So, and not a huge anti-Trump appetite across the nation. It says Fox News's McAnally claims No Kings protest. Each of the protests are actually smaller than Trump rallies. It doesn't sound to me like they're winning. You see what I'm saying? So there's hope for conservatism. There's hope that the woke agenda is not going to take over. And this guy, it's all to go. He says, this is my king, this is my president, this is my flag, and this is my country. I think a lot of people can go with that. Now here's one of the No Kings. This is one of the faces of No Kings, one of the younger faces. But Cleopatra, not Cleopatra, I guess, is maybe instead of No King's Day, it should be no cookies, no cakes, no buffets. And she goes on to say her king is Burger King. I don't know. Yikes, guys. Can Trump paint? Can he turn California red? Back to the days of Reagan? I don't know. That's a tall order, but maybe. Now, we got some people from California. Mobile. Yeah. Yeah, John, but the people protesting Mobile were all white. Of course, they were bussed in, as we've seen too. And according to this is supposedly a post from Donald Trump, says a huge thank you to all the No Kings protesters yesterday. I was very concerned the king was trying to take my place, but thanks to your tireless efforts, I am still your president. Great job, all. Hey, that fits perfect. That's perfect. And here it is, No King's Day in the UK. The irony. The irony. It is a shh. Don't tell them. The irony of No King's Day in the UK. Wow. Here's a young guy saying, we kicked the last king, King George, back across the pond in 1776. The only king in this country is Christ. Christ will remain on the throne regardless of the retirement home field trips known as No King's Protest. All righty. There's the face of the youth. Now this one's so special. I got to turn the sound on for this one. Listen, you got to hear this guy. You got to hear this guy. This is one young person they got, but he's got to be the brainiac.
Trump's a bitch. Yeah, why is that? I don't know. We don't like him. That's the word around here. Any particular reason why you don't like him? No clue at all. I'm just going with everybody else saying Trump's a bitch. Yeah, why is that? I don't know. We don't like him. That's the word around here. Any particular reason why you don't like him? No clue at all. I'm just going with everybody else saying Trump's a bitch. Yeah, why is that? I don't know. We don't like him. That's the word around here. Any particular reason why you don't like him? No clue at all. I'm just going with everybody else saying Trump's a bitch.
Wow. Now that crowd is not packed, okay, behind him. Wow. So they get one young guy, and he's telling you what he thinks. You know, it kind of reminds me of the guy who was going around with the camera during the Charlie Kirk event. The one that actually got the recording of the rifle shot. He went on the side where the people were counter protesting him, and the purple haired guys and all that, and he found some young people, and they couldn't tell you why they opposed him. Just like this guy, if you remember that video I played, they could not tell you why. They didn't have any cogent reasons. Same as this guy. And then we heard that rifle shot, and it was definitely a rifle shot. All these people talking about, oh, it was his mic, it was somebody holding a hand nug. No, it was a high power rifle. It was definitely discernible in that video. That guy had a good mic. He was up on top of the building, far away from the event. There's no hand nugs that make that sound. It was a high power rifle. That might have came over a little bit to the right and higher up than what was reported, but it was definitely a high-powered rifle. Me driving past a No Kings rally. All right, same kind of stuff. Oh, smoke. Oops. There's this guy again. Now, when there is a No Kings protest, but the real Americans show up, yeah, flying flags on their trucks. Yeah, I'm sure they enjoyed that. All right, that's the same thing about Atlanta there. No point playing that again. So I just thought I'd share these things with you. But I showed you how Neville Singman was putting Chinese money in this stuff. And of course, we know George Soros has been pumping a lot of money in. So how do they pay for all those buses? We see this all the time. When they actually have riots, we see piles of brick being prearranged and all kind of stuff like that. How's that come up? It's the same stuff all the time. Let's see. Same stuff. Now here's a compensated activist saying the majority of protesters are paid. Now, I don't know if it's the majority when you got that many people out, but there's definitely some money in there somewhere. Somebody rented all those buses. Somebody organized it. Well, they're making claims here for how it was paid. I don't know. Some of it is quite likely. Anyway, what is this? I'll go to the chat room here in a little bit. Now, there was the potential for violence. Fortunately, this one guy here was stopped. He was bragging about planning to make an attack during the event against ICE agents. He had bombs and stuff. He got nabbed. He got taken. So let's be happy that this guy didn't pull off his plan. David Cox, at 54, was hit with the terrorism charges. Okay. So he got stopped, thankfully. So it could have had some violence. It might have had some isolated violence, especially in the events, the follow-on events tonight. I don't know how all that's played out yet. Maybe it's not all done. So this guy, Antifa doesn't resist till anyone is punched, or, far left foot soldiers. And yeah, so this article was written by Deborah Saunders, and she goes into this. When a bat hits, according to Trump, when a bat hits you over the head, that's not an idea. He said Antifa bad. So anyway, they did get two guys who were two guys were arrested here. Antifa, heavily armed Antifa cell got broke, fortunately. That might have stopped some violence. They said these guys had already done an attempted murder of an officer discharging a firearm in furtherance of violence during the July 4th attack. They got those guys. So fortunately, they didn't get to play in this event. So now here's the news. Arizona Republicans surged 333,000 voter registration lead over the Democrats. And I'm hearing this kind of thing that's happening nationwide. So there's hope. There's also it come out that at least 6 seats in the House of Representatives was given to the Democrats due to an error in I guess the population count. What do you call it when they apportion the districts to states? Apparently, they made a big error, mistakenly gave at least 6 seats to the Democrats. So, all right, we'll go to China news. Just a couple of items here. 12 years of data prove that China's Belt and Roads Initiative is a debt trap. So all you countries in the global south who are signing up this Belt and Roads Initiative, 75 developing nations now face severe debt crises over massive repayments to China. So all you countries in the global south, you need to think about who you're aligning with, and you better consider that the Chinese don't like anybody that's not a Han Chinese, the member of the CCP. So keep that in mind to all those around the world who think it's a great thing to deal with the Communist Party. So it's not. The world is woken up to China's supply chain weaponization, because this whole thing with the rare earth minerals. Yeah, it can. China wants to dictate to the whole world who can buy what. Not a good thing. So they thought they could finally do checkmate, but what they've done is they woke the world up to their game. A lot of us have been trying to tell everybody about it. Gold and silver boom is ominous. So we've not seen days like this for gold and silver since the late 70s. Well, why? But it's because the dollar is getting weak, because it's been under attack by BRICS and others. Hey, gold is actually, let's update this. Gold's actually backed off maybe around $100 a troy ounce. Silver's backed off about $2 per troy ounce. So it might be a good time to jump in. Usually when you get a surge, you get a little bit of a downplay, but the trend has been up. So if you want to take advantage of that, consider defythegrid.com. These guys make a deal that nobody else makes out there anywhere. It's if you find a better price somewhere else, they'll meet it or beat it. Nobody else makes that. And they can only make it because they operate off of a 3 to 4% margin. But out of that 3 to 4%, they'll give you 1% back off if you use discount code GreenGregs. Discount code GreenGregs. And you can buy silver. You can buy palladium. They got all kind of precious metals here. You can buy the bars, bullion, that is, the just rounds. You can buy coins, or you can buy these gold backs, which are dominated in thousandths of an ounce, a troy ounce. And so it means that you can get them in fungible amounts that you can trade and barter with. Oh, yeah, just change the subject one more time here. Supposedly the whole drone UFO thing has been solved. This guy's got a private aircraft that he claims he was flying around New Jersey in development. So this answers the whole thing because he was out there in New Jersey. The only problem with that is The stuff was happening nationwide. It wasn't just New Jersey. So they always like to come up with something like this. Okay, it was this. Go back to sleep. Excuse me. Knock, knock, knock. What about everywhere else and all the military bases and all these other places that we were seeing this stuff? It wasn't just New Jersey. So, you got to not let them pull the wool over your eyes or something more, something bigger going on than just this guy flying this thing around. That might have been part of it in the New Jersey area in particular, but it don't account for the rash of them all across the country, whatever it was. Now here's something that the left just would have all kind of trouble with. Remember how they told us every year the hurricanes are going to get stronger, more of them, and stronger, and more of them, and stronger because you drive a gas guzzler. It's the whole reason. All the world's problems because you drive a gas guzzler. Well, they kind of shut up because they turned against Elon, and then they attacked everybody that took their advice and bought the EVs from Elon. It was their darling at one time, and then turn around and burn dealerships and attack their liberal woke brothers and sisters who were buying that stuff. Well, guess what? Lack of U.S. hurricanes this year have set to have a major impact on chaotic winter weather. Well, they got to twist everything bad, right? I think you can be happy that we haven't had any major landfalls of hurricanes. For the first time in a decade, there have been no recorded landfall hurricanes in the state. Is it just a particular state? I don't know what they mean by that. We look into this, means for the winter ahead, whatever, unpredictable weather. I think we'll take that unpredictable weather over hurricanes any day. Hurricanes tend to be somewhat catastrophic, but so it just shows the bankruptcy, the narrative they put out. Oh yeah, we don't have any ice in the Arctic, and it's not snowing anymore either, right? Wink, wink. Hello, Al Gore. Yeah, Al Gore, crawl back in your hole, as Diamond always likes to say on Oppenheimer News. But talk about volcanoes. Here's one that's been quiet for 700,000 years. Just woke up in Iran. 700,000 years. And you know what? That means these volcanoes, even old ones, the summit Taftan, how they say it over there, it's spelled Taftan, Tafan, or whatever, has become swollen and bloated and indicates pressure of magma and hot gas within its bowels. Hot gas in its bowels. Sounds like me after I had too many beans, right? Well, guess what? So there it is, smoking. It has woke up, or is waking up. So anywhere you got an old volcano, might wake up again. Now, earthquake news, don't look so bad today as it did yesterday, or not nearly as bad the day before. You got one over here in Kamchatka, the Kamchatka Peninsula, back off real big. Not nearly as active as it normally has been. There's still some stuff going on in the Philippines. Let's look at these down here. Philippines has been rocking our 5.2 there. They had a 6.5 a couple of days ago, 5.4. They're having aftershocks, but they're dying down. That's the good news. So I'm about to go to the chat room here in a minute. We'll look at space weather first. There's Comet Lemon. Hey, it actually looks like a comet, unlike that oddball, whatever it is going around the opposite side of the sun right now. Probably a asteroid instead of a comet. They won't call it a comet. There are some big sunspots, but they're turned away from us right now. What's facing us don't look too bad at the moment. So that's good news. The aurora is down, which means not too much in the way of solar storms at the moment, which is also good news. There is a coronal hole, but it's rotating away from us too. That's good. Guys, we got all kind of good news. Except, I don't know, this comment, the Swan here, and Comet Lemon both, they say they're green. That looks kind of bluish. Is this your blue Kachina of Hopi prophecy? I don't know, guys. We send the blue Kachina. And the asteroid report is typical. We had one make a near miss on the 15th. Came in almost down the level of our geosynchronous satellites, well between the Earth and the Moon. 3/10 of the way on our side. But, what's ahead of us, nothing in the forecast to worry about. That's good news. Well, all kind of good news tonight. So there we go. Let's see, I think it was let's see, the rise and fall of the Golden State. Well, you know, I mean, they should have a governor like Reagan. Maybe they would be doing getting the gold back in the Golden State. If you hadn't seen it, you need to watch my I Got Worms video on Green Greg's. All right, I'll stop the share. Hello. It's party time. All righty. Hey, I don't always bring bad news, guys. Some people go, oh, it's always doom and gloom. No, it's not. But I do tell you that you got to watch out. We got to be aware. Our society is unstable. And people are trying to create division, foment division in this country. And some of it is foreign influences. And we have a lot of global tensions right now that are off the charts. So we could wind up in World War III before we know it. Our grid could be taken down. We are vulnerable, but things are looking up from where they were. That's the good news. Alaska got hammered. They had flooding down there. Severe. They had to evacuate the whole town down there. All right, let's see what folks are saying tonight. Thank you for calling for the thumbs up, Jesse. Mag Risen's in the house from Alaska. How you doing, Mag Risen? Did you get affected by the typhoon? New days, Jesse. Let's see. S. Lee, good to see you back. The PDO file connection isn't going anywhere. That's a problem. My right to eat bears remains questionable. Yeah, you and I were chatting about that earlier. Excuse me. Pardon me. And the lawless one is gaining his trophy as being as such. Yeah, and really and truly, biblically, the lawless one is the Antichrist. Hey, John Cole, Colonel Cole's in the house, folks. And Wendy. Wendy's had a few live sessions lately. I managed to join one of them. You know, she's got a good channel. She's a good lady. 4 is my checking number. Hey, Arnold. Multiple encryption codes from Russia, command, and nuke subs. Ooh. American nuke codes are now being sent. Yeah, we could be in a world war in a snap of fingers, guys. I'm snug better than hey, Jamie. Sasquatch Moon party. Amen. Amen. Jamie 21. Uh-oh, what's happening here? No. I'm just trying to scroll through it, trying to take action. Lots of characters in the EAM. Uh-oh. We better take our country back fast. I want no part of that trash. There you go, Wendy. Got a couple Wendy's in the house tonight. 2 times bigger than Paris. Having to realize the older I get, the better I was. That's a good one, Jesse. Hey, Chewy Weather. Chewy's in the house. Very good. May 1st, 1776. Yeah, that was the founding of the Nati. It's so illumined. You know what I mean? That's when Weishaupt started the Bavarian Illuminati. Man, the airwaves are busy tonight in the morning. Uh-oh. Talking about the EAMs. Trying to upload my Croctober video. Oh, that sounds good. Croctober. If you want to be scared and inspired at the same time, wait to see my next video on galactic grays. Probably the scariest darn thing you've ever seen in your life, but it's also simultaneously one of the most inspirational things you'll ever see. It's going to be amazing. Chewy says, Antifa's just a bunch of foul mouth punks. Yeah, you notice that, how the left always uses foul mouth stuff, cursing. It's a reflection of their dark hearts. See, their whole movement's founded on envy. Envy. Somebody else gets ahead, they want part of it. We're doing nothing. Somebody busts their and struggles and takes risk and then just happens to succeed. Well, they want part of it, a big part of it. And they want to be able to sit on their couches and munch buns and take what other people earned. I got an issue with that. KP Heather, KP, pardon me, Heathen, how you doing? Faces means Roman, yeah, fasces means Roman authority. Yep. Bundle of sticks, exactly. They would show their bundle of sticks, and sometimes they would have a mace or a hatchet, or whatever you want to call it, up in that bundle of sticks. I think it used to be on our dime, the old Mercury dime. I think I was going back to the Mercury dime. Doorknob here. Hey Todd, how you doing? If you're here, you're not a doorknob. Nursing home field trip, says Michael. Laughing. HF chatter stopped. Oh, okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Colonel called Montgomery equals Montgomery. Wow. Larry Schultz, how you doing, Larry? All three towns have a high, yeah. That's typical in your blue cities. Typical, way too typical. So where's the king for our silverhead queen? Are you going to crown? Yeah, New Days is a spectacular mod here. I am usually here depending on how late it is. Yeah, I try to get in a little. I've been trying to get in earlier. It's just been hard to get everything thrown together. That's one reason I'm not covering the China stuff tonight. And plus, this is real news. It's time to celebrate mostly. So I'll leave the China Russia stuff for tomorrow night. We'll do it on Green Rails. Howdy doody, all you fruity tooties. Oh. You guys poking fun at y'all back. Open the insane asylums again. Maybe that's it, Jamie. Yeah, I think it's mental illness. Just look at all those mugshots of the arrested Antifa members. They look like they're missing a screw or two, or maybe I'm missing something. Oh, what's happening here? I don't want to do that. Jesus. Jesse Tolbert. Glad Earth is quiet and I can get some laundry done. There you go. He monitors solar flares and stuff quite a bit. 9 Pandaland generals arrested for criminal activity. That just means that Xi Jinping is further consolidating his authority. Blessing Greg Allison and love and light. I'm working tonight. Well, that rhymes. Thank you there, Rochelle. Watching with my eyes closed. That's fine. Listen. That's fine. Watch with your eyes closed. You don't play my videos while you do other work in the daytime. My videos need some views, especially here on this channel. I think we should should we crown New Days? Is that what you're saying, Arnold? Make her the swivel head queen. Lottie Lottie. She's definitely a spectacular mod and friend, too. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be honest, if I need some advice, she's my go-to. So there we go. All righty, folks. So I'm gonna open this up on my chat room on the computer if I can find it. Hang on. Go back to it over here where I can get a little better view of what people are saying. I think we've covered all the news for all the coffee club members in the morning. We kind of went into our own conversation here. So yeah, once I go into the chat room, that's usually means the news is over for people watching in the morning. How long have we been in the house now? 54 minutes. Why don't we keep it down to an hour tonight? That would be good. So just in case. LOL, I don't need or want a crown. I hear you. Me neither. Alrighty, folks. Yeah, crowns are overhyped. I do not like royalty in any shape, form, or fashion. I'm no fan of royalty. And I think the Brits, fine people over UK, ought to tell the king bye-bye. Say, pack up Buckingham Palace and put it on the auction block. Raise money for the country. I think that would be a great move. Just tell those guys, you're going off the payroll. Your days are over. I think that'd be the best thing the United Kingdom could do. Let's see here. Let's find, I just want to check my email, make sure. Sometimes we got a person hanging in the house who throws a donation in. I don't see it tonight. All right. Hmm. So we do this Jan, Colorado Jan in the house. I need to give her some credit. She sends me checks in the mail. Got one from her, $20 check. I got it Friday and I cashed it Friday. So sleep to Colorado Jan for that. I don't see her in the house, so I'll have to bring that up when I see her in the house. Let's see. Oh, I believe Colorado Jan's with us tonight, is she? Let me scroll back up. I may be scrolling too fast. I don't see her in the house. All righty. Well, I'll give her credit next time I see her in the house, probably over on Green Greg's. So we're about to call it a night. We've been here almost an hour. I think that's long enough. So we've had our little party. If I ever go into setting up memberships, we might return to some of the older videos. They actually are bad for the algorithm. Just sit here and cut up. Remember the days when we used to just sing and do poetry and cut up. That was real popular with you guys, but it's kind of rough on the algorithms. Those videos kind of apparently hurt the channel's performance, but they're fun. I mean, you guys are family, so we like to have a good time together. So a nice kind of a party night in a way. We've had a little fun tonight. Hopefully these EAMs that have been discussed tonight by Arnold don't result in anything. I think we've still got a meeting supposedly scheduled between Trump and Putin. So hopefully nothing crazy will happen before that. And who knows, maybe they'll actually accomplish something for a change, maybe. Hope and pray, folks. And hope and pray the good people over in living under the jackboot of the People's Republic of China might get rid of that jackboot, if you know what I mean. Plenty of them there wonder, hey, Stray Kitten, how you doing? We on the way in the house, Sprung Spar. How you doing? What else we got here tonight? All righty. So before we go, everybody tell us where you're from. Just we got 40 watching around. Tell us where you're from, everybody. Let's see where everybody's from. Yeah, Kim Possible's not in the house. That's why I was checking my donation link, because if she's in the house, sometimes she don't chat because she's working. But if she's in the house, she'll usually throw in a donation through my Ring Rigs website, and I'll get an email notification for her. I can log on to PayPal and see it, one or the other. Hide from you. All right. So we've had a little party in that. So, Greg, brother, how many eggs? Oh, thank you. Yes, we got to do the eggs. I've set them over here just to do the egg guess. Well, let's get to where everybody's from first, and then we'll do the eggs. Thank you for reminding me of that. Sometimes you have to remind me. So we got Portland. Rochelle, how's things in Portland? How are things in Portland? We know that there's been a lot of rough stuff going on there in Portland. Is it calming down? Hillsboro, West Wokeistan. There you go. Southern Illinois. Joanne, how you doing, Joanne? You know what I've said? We've got the left coast, I call it West Wokeistan, and the northeast, I call that East Wokeistan. And we're all Indians here in the middle, here in Flower Land. So, all righty. So I guess everybody's done telling me where they're from. Everybody said it wants to. Okay, so time to guess how many eggs. How many eggs we get today? How many eggs did I pick it today for my hens? How many eggs? Time to guess. Egg count guess time. Chaos in the South Waterfront. Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. All right, guess again. Guess again. Guess again. Not hit it yet. That's it. Chewy Weather got it. Three. 3 eggs. 3 eggs. Ding. Hey, sometimes I'll just get one. 7's the most I ever got out of my hand so far. All righty, guys. 3. There they are. 3 eggs. That's how many I got today. All right. Egg guessing game. We get to play some games here. My Easter egg hens aren't laying right now. That's mostly Dominickers, those brown eggs. That crown come from? Yeah, this YouTube has started using crowns for something. I don't really quite know what that means yet. I got to figure that one out. Oh, New Days got a crown. Oh, you got a crown, New Days. Says #1. That's funny. You got a crown after all. You'll get it. You'll get it sooner or later, Arnold. Oh, you got 2 today. Okay, Joanne, that's good. But you got some hens too. Very good. Anybody else have hens in the house? I know Wendy does. At least one of the Wendy's. All right. That's not, I think she got some hens. All righty, folks. We've been going now for 62 minutes. All right. I think it's time to call it a night. It's not too long after midnight, so that's good. So, thank you, mods. Thank you, everyone, for watching. So make sure you share my videos. This platform really don't do me well. They really been stepping them a little bit lately, especially on the green rig side. I guess because I put up too many videos about China. They don't like that. My last video on China, the last 2 have really been squelched, especially when I put it on the green rig side. So y'all need to share my videos. Share them far and wide. Go in and comment in the comment section after I post them. Comment to each other. Give me some thumbs up. I need all the support I can get. How many thumbs up we got tonight? It says 0 here on this, but I know that's not right. If I hit the refresh button, I'll sure get a count higher on that. Just hadn't updated. Hit the like button. Thank you, Gina. Let me do a refresh on the screen here so they can tell me where we're at on that. All right, we got 34 so far. But we got 42 people in the room. Mouth of the river, 44 STM. 3 beats 1. Amen. 3 does beat 1. Appreciate that, Rochelle. Everyone, don't forget. Yeah, thank you, Jesse. All righty, everyone. Again, thank you, mods, for keeping it clean in here. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And do we don't have anybody from overseas tonight? That's funny. That's interesting. I didn't see somebody said Norway. Maybe we got Norway in the house. I don't know. So, again, I just want to thank everybody for being here. Remember, we're family. So, I really appreciate you guys. You guys cheer me up, really. It does. It cheers me up chatting with you guys. So I have to go over here to this other screen to end the video. Anyway, once again, what does this say? Yeah. So thank you all. Really appreciate you very much. So to one and all, have a good night, good day, wherever you are, to one and all. With that, I'll say, ho, ho, ho. Green Giant.